You ready? Cool. Soothing. All right, good morning, everybody. It's been good. You know, back on the practice field this week. You know, coming off the game there. You know, Saturday night. You know, like I said on Monday. You know, it was a good win. It was one that you know we got to see complimentary football put on display. You get to see guys you show up in different situations and play at a high level, and then also be able to take correction and be able to see areas where we have to get better. And that's what I wanted to see coming into this week, is just the urgency, the push. Now having to be able to take your best performance and be able to go put that on display on the road. And we have to improve from what we saw Saturday night, and now it's to go into a hostile environment against a team that it's always going to be a big game when these two programs clash. And for us, we know the challenges that are in front of us. We know the talent of the team that we're playing. I know the skill of the coaches that we're going against, and this is it's going to be a great matchup. It's one that both teams, both programs, got to fight to go be the best we can be, and it's going to come down to just a handful of plays, like this game usually does. And I'm excited for what I've seen from our players. They're preparing and training with joy and excitement as they're pushing themselves to get better, and that's what is an absolute necessity. And like I said, we got to bring all of that on the road here this week.
First question will be Chris.
On Monday, you spoke a little bit about learning from the Stanford trip as far as some travel items. What was some of that stuff? How has it helped you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think with each experience, how guys where guys allow themselves to go throughout the course of a game day prep, especially when you're on the road, especially when you're in a different atmosphere. There's got to be you learn from experience of things that work well and then things that don't. And I think that's something we've addressed with our team. Even heading into this last week, and obviously there's the challenge and the expectation for what needs to show up here this week on the road. And I know this team is excited to be able to go compete. They're excited to show the capability. And like I said on Monday, we got to go. Now we got to go do it on the road. And this is a big game, and it's one that it will be a hostile environment, and it's we can't allow the good play or the bad play that shows up to take our energy, our focus, our urgency, in any play or any point of a game. We can't have any dips when it comes to that. So, it will just truly be us, and we've got to hold true to that and how we play for 60 minutes of that game.
All right.
When you guys, in terms of just the energy that was there on Saturday, was that something that you guys kind of pushed them to do, or is that something that was kind of evolving?
No, I mean it's something that at points of this year I think has been really good. I mean, we started the season and you felt that energy for the first three games, and things are going well, and there's even times in those first three games where things weren't going well, and it was it was there, it was present. It's a part of who these guys are. I think when you find disappointing results, the first game you're on the road, and there was moments in that first road game where maybe things didn't go exactly like we wanted it to, or maybe there's some calls or things that happen that just that distract you in the moment, and you still can't let that take your energy, your focus, your joy, your excitement for what's ahead. And if you allow yourself to be distracted by that, well, obviously there can be some negative effects. And then you come off and you lose a game, and as those things built up, and the desire and the want to, and just to go and to be able to have the right result that you want. I mean, sometimes that can stack onto you, and that you've got to just trust in the moment. What you're capable of doing, how much you enjoy getting to do that, and to be able to bring that energy and joy. And that's where I think I maybe mentioned it last week. Just I'm watching guys practice. These guys, they like to compete. They enjoy to compete. They Even today, I mean, it's back and forth, and you feel that. And there was times in month of October that there would be just almost that's where you see the word press, but like you're so caught up on what we need to do or what we want it to look like or what it needs to be that you kind of get stuck there, and you just gotta relax, go compete, have fun, cut it loose. And that was the challenge for last week, is to be able to take what I see in practice, go apply that on throughout the course of the game, and I thought our guys answered the call to that, and whether they were on the field, whether on the sideline, wherever they were, I thought it was a really good job, and it's magnified and that much more important when you're on the road, because there's nothing, I was asked a question last week, and you give people something to cheer for, and they're usually going to cheer, right? If you can do something to keep people from cheering on the road, that's you're doing what you want to do. But we're not in control of that, right? And so at the end of the day, we will be in control of us, and that's what has to be our focus. But it's been I think that is a part of what this team is. We just have to be true to us and to go put that out there on display.
Liam?
With Deuce, and it just seems like every third down or big moment that you guys need offensively, Tommy finds Deuce, and he's able to make those plays. He's reflected in the season he's had. When you go on road games like this, where you're talking about fine margins, plays that are the difference, what can a guy like Deuce do for you offensively?
When you're on the road, your best playmakers have to show up, and they've got to play well, and that's something that it's a great responsibility that comes with that. But that they've shown, especially as we are 8 games into the season, you've seen the flashes, you've seen the moments, you're seeing guys grow in the consistency of who they are and how they can perform. And so I guess they just go out there and have fun, and when the moment comes to you, whether it's offensive guy, defensive guy, specialist, go answer the call, and you're prepared, you're ready for it, and but those playmakers that you absolutely have to rise to the level of opportunity, and that's what we're seeing from him, and I think you're seeing a lot of guys within our team that are growing in that.
Got time for a couple more, Matt?
I've seen a couple guys on social media call it New November. Has that been like a big thing of turning the page and forgetting about last month and a completely new slate?
Yeah, when we got to the bye week, I talked about a refresh, a restart. I don't ever want to waste the disappointments though. At the end of the day, like we had a stretch there, a bunch of close games, things that didn't go the way we wanted it to. We didn't get the final result. But there were even some good moments in that time, and there were some things that were really bad moments. And I don't want to waste those experiences, but it is you have to refresh, restart. Coming off of a big win, just score what we needed. All that stuff. Saturday, that's not going to get us any points. Come this Saturday. So it is, even this week, it's a refresh and a restart to go and let our best football game show up come Saturday night, with all of the things surrounding it. And that's I know our guys are excited, and however you can get to turn the page, that's one of the things that you can say, oh well, because it's this month, or because it's this game. Well, we also need it because of this play, and it's just trying to bring that to a finer point of the importance of every play, because you don't know which one's going to be the difference.
Chris?
Do you expect to have Boggs and or Thompson back?
Oh yeah, we'll see. It's we'll see how this the next couple of days are going to be big. We'll release the availability report. Tomorrow will probably be a big day for both those guys.
Aslan?
I feel like at the next level, like in the NFL, if a defense gives up 250 rushing yards in a week, usually the next week they find a way to bow up and respond. When you're playing a team like Clemson that their secondaries struggled the way they did last week, when you're preparing, looking at things on film, how much of it is stuff that you feel is a temporary thing for them, or something that you guys can exploit?
Well, you go into every game trying to see knowing and anticipating the things that you could do well, or have done well, and then you try to make sure that you're putting your guys in the best matchups, the best situations. Whatever that might look like, whether it's on the ground, in the air, defensively, whether it's bringing pressure or not, it is all just trying to put our guys in the best position. And you know, there's been games where teams were really good in run defense, and we were able to run the football well. And there's times that, you know, you just you see teams that might struggle. They struggle to respond. Maybe it's still about a matchup that shows up. So it's really, we try to stay focused on us and, you know, what we anticipate of being able to see. But you know, still about trying to put our guys in there in the best situation where they can go out there and make plays. And you know, sometimes you'll see the flip of, you know, a team playing really well in one area and then, you know, being bad the next, or vice versa. So I mean, it kind of still comes down to matchups.
Last one, Ira.
Can you tell us anything about like Sam's personality, Sam Singleton, in terms of, you know, he's had success, had a kickoff return last year, but he's also kind of waited his turn, but then this past week has the.
He's one of my favorite human beings I've maybe ever. Like, he's like one of my favorite human beings. Like, he is just such a pure soul, and you know, he cares about people. Not the most outgoing, you know, talkative. Just if you throw him into a room, but when he speaks, there's such substance. There's such, you know, he's such a genuine person, and you know, he's very aware of exactly where he is, and he's very aware of the things that he is really talented at and good at, and then the areas that he's been able to improve. And I think that's what we see, in that we're seeing him just ascend through the confidence of the work that he's put in. And you know, he is. I know I said it on Monday when I was asked about him. You know, he doesn't. You know, he stays the course, and whether you get to play a lot, play little, you know what it looks like in practice, good play, bad play. I mean, he's going to pour in, and I love him. He's just such a special human being, and I was very proud of him for taking advantage of the opportunity he got there last week, and you know, expect him to continue to build whatever that looks like, whether that's a lot of runs or not very many. However that plays out, you know, just continue to control it himself and grow and get better. And you know, I'm very confident what his future will continue to be. You know, when his number's called.
All right, thank you, Coach.